Alright. Oh yeah, I should probably always start like this. There we go. Welcome to Fluff, and welcome to an SCP reading. We're starting off with the 1350s today in this beautiful Sunday reading. And for all of you on YouTube right now, if you do like this video, then I would just advise to, click that subscribe button, because I'm gonna keep trying my best to make this a daily upload thing. I do know that for a fact that the Saturday the 25th will be one that won't have a video, because the next 2 weeks I'm not gonna stream any reading. So yeah, even though I do say daily, I should probably say mostly daily. I'm aiming for it to be daily. But yeah, look, at the end, subscribe if you enjoyed this video, like if you like this video, comment what you think of the SCP down below. And we shall get started with the very first one, called The Pixel. I don't know why I'm having the Adam Sandler movie in my mind, and I'm pretty sure that's not what this is supposed to be. What in the hell am I looking at? What am I looking at? Isn't it not possible anymore? Like, it used to be possible to like just open up the... Oh, because I'm opening up the link. Open up image. I could have done that with the fucking Jungle in the Jaw SCP this whole time, and I just misclicked this whole time. I just didn't see it. What am I looking at? This looks like some sort of like... Well, we'll see what it is. We're starting off with a keto. That is... Wow. And no G Fuel today, because like I said, I have to wake up early tomorrow and, run. And I can't really have my night be plagued by G Fuel. So, yeah. We're going to leave that alone. Does this work? Not again. It did that last time, and I don't know why it keeps doing that every time I'm starting a stream now. Okay, we fixed it once again, but I don't understand why it does that. Let me. Yeah, for some reason, this is new. It never happened before. Yesterday was the first time it happened. Today is the second time it happened. I'll just always make sure to have voice mod open before I do any of the streams, just to be sure that it doesn't repeat that every single time we do this. But yeah. SCP-1350 is contained at Containment Area 52, -8 degrees, -1 degrees. Any unauthorized individuals approaching within 15 kilometers of the containment area are to be terminated on site to prevent potential Delta events. Colonies of Sphenicid... What the hell? Sphenicide. Oh yeah, also gotta check that I speak loud and clear, because I realized... So I realized when I was editing my videos that apparently I'm a bit quiet. Which, now that I think about it, hold on a minute. No, we're good, we're good. It is using the right mic. Then I don't know why. Okay, no more technical difficulties. Let's just continue reading. Sphenicide. No, Phenicida. And all creatures are to be monitored and guarded to prevent them approaching the containment zone. Maintenance inspection of containment tracks Alpha and Beta and individuals rotating platforms are to be conducted twice daily. Personnel outside not involved directly in maintenance operations are to remain inside the primary dome at all times. Observation of SCP-1350 is restricted to cameras and motion sensors. At no time are personnel to directly observe SCP-1350 except in the case of Delta outbreak event for the purposes of prolonging containment. Number of personnel in the primary dome should be limited to 5 researchers and 2 D-class at all times if possible. And we have aerial view of primary dome and the nearest D-class domes taken 11/12/1963. So aerial view of the domes, huh? Okay. This is a long containment procedures here that we have. 12 geodesic domes are positioned in a circle with a diameter of 300 meters, each dome connected by a dual underground track to the primary dome. Each dome is to contain 1 D-class treated with compound iota and strapped onto a rotating platform designed to prevent movement of the head more than 10 degrees in any direction. And we have a footnote here that says, a combination stimulant, thought suppressant, and attention enhancer designed to ensure the Class D currently targeted will immediately focus upon SCP-1350. Okay, so they really want the D class to be hyper-focused. They like, whenever the SCP is just about to walk by, and it comes from the peripheral vision right here, they just turn their head right towards it. They just keep staring. Gotta make sure that they know who's looking at them. At least that's what I assume this whole purpose is. The interior of each dome is to be completely darkened when in use. Well, that's fun for the D class. Just in eternal darkness, and occasionally when something comes by, it's just like, finally, something else besides darkness. It's so long. All D-class must be kept turned 180 degrees from the current position of SCP-1350, except for the 3 D-class determined to be farthest away from it when it crosses the current threshold C. It says here, defined as a 30-meter radius around the currently targeted D-class dome. The object's current target must be identified and kept focused on the object until it crosses their threshold C. Light and motion sensors are to determine the position of SCP-1350 at any given moment and adjust the orientation of D-class subjects accordingly. In rotation, 1 D-class is to be changed out each hour, examined for continued suitability for containment, and replaced as needed. If an unscheduled Delta event occurs, the 2 nearest D-class are to be focused on the object, immediately lowered from the domes onto containment track Beta, and moved to containment track Alpha. They are to continue moving there, altering speed as needed to remain a constant distance away from SCP-1350 until it has returned to its original luminescence. Once per month, a Delta event is to be permitted in order to prevent a Kappa event. If the object breaches the primary dome, all current occupants are to be terminated via fast-acting neurotoxin to limit potential Delta events. Recontainment will be handled by the secondary dome located 20 kilometers to the north. Resupply of D-class to primary containment site and recontainment on containment track Alpha must be achieved as rapidly as possible. A secondary set of domes spaced in a 12-kilometer radius circle is to be put into use should more 10 Delta events take place within a 15-day time period. Okay, and the last paragraph of the procedure, the containment procedure, should the secondary dome be compromised, the object must be led via containment track Gamma to launch Site 52-A and procedure Gamma 12, implemented to give time to re-establish containment facilities. Path of the object Path of the object through the solar system must be monitored to identify the object's future point of re-entry. Now, let's see what it actually is, and how this is related to the name, the Pixel. See, this is why Sunday is a bit harder to do, because I am usually exhausted from the night before. But that's no problem, we can do this. SCP-1350 is a floating mobile point of light of unknown origin. The light emanating from it is not reflected by any known material, but can be perceived by biological organisms or mechanical photosensitive equipment. SCP-1350 and its light pass uninhibited through all known materials regardless of consistency or opacity. SCP-1350 will target and slowly accelerate toward any living creature massing more than 2,488 grams. The object has a variable acceleration, but has not been observed to accelerate faster than 0.5 meters per second squared. Target acquisition is determined primarily by maintenance of direct observation of the object by a living organism, secondly by proximity of the target, and thirdly by the target's mass. It will cease movement and instantly change targets should the situation change and make another target more favorable according to the criteria. Upon reaching the target, the object moves into the target's brain. Life signs of the target immediately cease. Regardless of the mass of the target affected, the object immediately increases in volume, base speed, and apparent luminescence by exactly 22.7%, classified as a delta event. This becomes an exponential progression as additional delta event occurs. So is this why the D-class have to look at it? Is to like absorb it? Because if two D-class absorb this event, this delta event, to prevent greater chaos, you basically have to sacrifice 2D class a couple times. I assume that's what they mean when they said like, oh, the D class have to look at them whenever a delta event happens. These attributes decrease linearly at the rate of. So actually, I have to ask you guys, what would you say this means? This symbol in this context? Because I never read that out loud especially when it comes to percentages. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's supposed to be rate of. I'm not sure if that's supposed to like mean increasing or same of. Well, it's not same of because that would be a equal sign. So I don't know. So how do you say that? And what does it mean? 1.14% per day until the object reaches a minimum apparent diameter of 0.5 centimeters, minimum base speed of 4 kilometers per hour, and a minimum apparent luminescence of 25,000 CD. Which I don't know what CD means. I don't know. If it remains in this state for more than 24.2 days, it will cease to be influenced by the direct observation criteria until a minimum of 3 delta events have occurred. This is classified as a kappa event. Through current containment procedure, the object is maintained at a diameter of 0.5 centimeters to 1 centimeter, and an apparent luminosity of 25,000 CD to 200,000 CD. No upper limits to size, speed, or luminosity have yet been observed. Highest observed, 2 centimeters diameter, 327 kilometers per hour, 1,650,000 CD occurred during event -27 in 1957. And then we have some extra stuff, recovery log. Pretty short, okay. SCP-1350 was discovered on the 6th 2nd, 1952 by Foundation Research Team -58 en route to study SCP. The object was first observed at 9:42 p.m., described in an audio logs as a kind of star moving towards us. The team consisted of 8 members, 6 of whom encountered delta events within the first 5 minutes of contact. Agent and Doctor, who had been setting up a communication beacon, observed this encounter from a significant distance away and retreated immediately to call for backup. They maintained evasion for 15 hours before being overtaken, providing most of the initial intelligence about the object. Now that I think about it, I always called this Doctor, but with Inner Sanctum, I found out that Dr. Khan was Director Khan. So is that always the case? Did I just always say Doctor even though they all were called directors? Did I make that big oopsie for 1,350 SCPs? I wonder if I did that. Oops. What do? Who had been setting up a communication beacon, observed this encounter from a significant distance away and retreated immediately to call for backup. They maintained evasion for 15 hours before being overtaken, providing most of the initial intelligence about the object. Mobile Task Force Alpha 8 Icebreakers was dispatched to determine the nature of the object and to establish preliminary containment procedures. Contact with the object was established 6/4/1952, resulting in the immediate loss of 2 task force members and the progressive loss of another 10 members over the course of the following 2 months. Further properties of the object was determined during this time, after which plans began to draw up for Containment Area 52. Object delivered with no further casualties to the containment area on the 9/29/1952. No connection has been established between SCP-1350 and SCP, and the object's original proximity to SCP has been judged to be coincidental. And now we have an event log 27. Initial containment procedures consisted of the primary dome and 2 additional buildings, with D-class beings being instructed to face the object and turn away in the alternating intervals. Construction of 4 D-class domes and containment track Alpha took place during this time. This was originally deemed to be sufficient for containment, given a proper supply of D-class. On the 5th, 9th, 1953, this construction was completed and officially containment procedures began. On the 2nd, 16th, 1959, a D-class unexpectedly died of a heart attack during a containment procedures, resulting in a Delta event. Maintenance prevented the timely movement of remaining D-class to containment track Alpha, resulting in the loss of all D-class in the containment area. Fighting. SCP-1350 then approached the primary dome, resulting in a Delta outbreak event and the loss of 14 additional personnel in D-class. God damn! Just because one D-class had a heart attack? How dare he do that? How dare he have the heart attack and bring danger to us all? Good. Just double checking. It would have been embarrassing if I forgot to click on that. Okay, secondary dome personnel took over and led the object on a circular route for a period of 22 days. With the loss of 4 additional personnel, emergency personnel arrived to repair the primary site and arise containment procedures. Immediately, construction began on the secondary ring of domes, and containment was transferred to them on a temporary basis. Containment track Alpha was prepared, and the object was transferred there on the 6/29/, 1959. 8 additional domes and tracks were added to the primary ring. Completed 2nd 11th 1962, after which current containment procedures were initiated. And now we have an addendum. The object's origin are unknown, but it is highly probable that Team 58 was the first group of living creatures that encountered sentient appearance. Data expunged. At this velocity, containment would be impossible. Subsequent contact with all life exceeding 2,488 grams is currently estimated. 05 clearance only. See document -K. Investigation into the object's possible origin path to the location of its discovery has thus far been fruitless. However, data expunged. Observation are to be directed not to observe this phenomena. Events 14 and 79 have proven the dangers of attempting to test the object's parameters. Further experimentation on SCP-1350 is forbidden. SCP-1350 must be prevented from coming within 200 kilometers of the ocean at all costs. Ooh. A bit of a confusing one for me to start off with. But I do see that I can see that I understand that it's a very fickle SCP to keep in control. Because it seems to sometimes it's hard to keep track of it, and sometimes it's easier. But all in all, you have to constantly keep an eye on it. And if you don't, if you have a heart attack, you might screw up the rest of the world.